Hi, I'm Lauren Grace. I'm an evidential medium and a seer, and I'm the owner-operator of Lauren Grace Inspirations. I'm a channel of the light and work with spirit guides, angels, the higher self, and passed over loved ones to provide you with support, clarity, and encouragement. Using oracle cards, mediumship, and clairvoyance, my readings will leave you feeling comforted and empowered. I have various reading options available, ranging from 30-minute readings to 60-minute readings to group sessions, all online or in person. I also work with professionals to help them gain clarity in business and life purpose. To book a reading with me, simply head to laurengraceinspirations.com. Hello, Lauren Grace here, and thought I would jump on here to do a little mini live for you. So thank you for watching. And if you have a question that you would like me to answer for you, I would love to give you a little response on that. But I will do a card for the day for you when you do watch this. And I'm also going to be talking to you today about the importance of cleansing your energy. So, when you find yourself going to a mall or talking with somebody and you're all of a sudden you feel drained, or all of a sudden you feel sort of not yourself. So a good example would be you get up in the morning, you're feeling really great about life, you're feeling really excited, and then you go and you talk to somebody and they're having a rough day. And then all of a sudden you're thinking to yourself, oh man, actually my day's not going that well. I feel really drained, or now I don't really feel myself. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Or when you go to a mall or a grocery store or a public event, you've got a lot of energy, and then you come home and all of a sudden you're feeling down, you're not really feeling yourself. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That means that you've been absorbing other people's energy and you've been allowing it, and it happens to all of us, that to affect you and to change your mood and to essentially fatigue you. So I'm going to go into chords and talking about that in another episode. But one of the things I did want to share with you is a really easy technique that you can use now to help you cleanse your energy. So thank you so much for listening. I see a couple of people here online. If you have a question you want me to answer, please do leave it in the comments. Now, here is a really simple technique to assist you in clearing and cleansing your energy. Number one, I want you to get a color in your head that refreshes you. It could be blue, it could be green, it could be purple, it could be white. For me, it's always purple, sparkly white light. That's what really refreshes me. Although that being said, sometimes it's green, sometimes it's blue. There's just a variety. Sometimes it's pink. So it does change. But in general, for me, it would be like a white light and a purple, which are high frequency colors as well, although gold is really high frequency color. So you get this color in your mind, and then you go into your shower. And when you're having a shower next, I want you to imagine that the water coming out of the top of the shower is that particular color. Now, if you can use your imagination, then you can just imagine the color coming through your crown chakra, which is at the top of your head, and running all the way through your body, clearing and cleansing you of your day, clearing and cleansing you of any energy that you would have picked up along the day. In your imagination, you can imagine that there are some dark sort of rain clouds that are coming out in the bottom of the shower that are leaking out of you. So that's you just getting rid of that energy and letting that energy go. All right. If imagination for you is a little bit tricky, that's okay. You can just say, okay, I'm going to imagine when I'm having this shower. You can say this aloud or in your head, that the water is going to come through my crown chakra. It's going to clear and cleanse me. It's going to go all the way out to the bottom of the shower, and it's going to go down the drain. And then you stay in the shower until you feel like that's happened, or if you're using your imagination, until you imagine that the water is clear, or it is the color that is coming from the top of the shower and to the bottom. So that's a really easy way of letting the day go. It's a really easy way of resetting your energy. There's so much healing to be found within water. Another thing that you could do is actually wash your hands with cold water. If I'm ever doing a bunch of readings and I need to just sort of have a really quick refresh, I might go and actually wash my hands with cold water as a technique and a way of resetting. Okay, so I've got a couple of comments here, a couple of questions. Hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. Okay. Anna Swing, you want an energy clearing cleansing. I'm not doing them right now, girl. So if you just go back and you have a listen to the beginning of this live here, I did give a really good energy cleansing technique that you can use. One thing that you could do, my sister, is go outside, walk around. Oh, I hear that. One of the things that they're saying is that you might want to be cleansing your solar plexus chakra. Here's a really easy thing that you can do, okay? You can just clap in your solar, I'm not trying to, kill your ears, but you go clap, clap, clap in your solar plexus chakra, and you imagine in your imagination that all that energy is really breaking up. Okay, I think that would be really good for you. I often will do clapping to just move energy around. Dancing is also a really good way of clearing and cleansing your energy as well. Okay, so let me see here. Carmen, I'll pull a little card for you. Let's see what the deck says for you. Okay, let me go here. I'm only staying on here today for a few minutes because I wasn't really planning on doing a live, and but here I am. I guess Spirit is just guiding me, isn't it? Hey, Anna, that's all good, my sister. It's just basically a color technique that you can do in the shower. So just when I'm done this live in about 5:10 here, you can just go back and have a listen to it at the very beginning. But it's definitely super important. And especially because, Anna, you're empathic, you take on a lot of the energy of other people. I feel a lot of emotion as well coming on with you. So I feel like you've been taking on some stuff. I hear that. So one of the things they also want to encourage you to do is to bring in some fire. And maybe they're also telling me to do the same, actually. But I want you to light some candles. I want you to wear some reds. I want you to bring in some spicy food, bring in some energy of power, of that fire element. Okay, it really will help you to feel a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot more energy and a little bit more fired up, really, which will really help with that emotions. Because I feel like you're kind of like down. It's like you're drowning, like a little bit of dilution with you. Dilution, that's probably not the right word, but I just feel like there's a lot of water going on. So I just really want to encourage you to bring in some of that fire element. Okay, so Carmen, here we go. Carmen's like, what about me, sister? I've been waiting for my reading. You're talking about to Anna about clearing energy. It's all for you. We always know that Spirit gives us exactly what we need to hear. So if you resonated with any of that, it's also for you, not just for Anna. Okay, my sister Carmen. So sorry if you identify with a woman. Hope you do. Okay, so here we go. This is an education card, and this is card number 35. 3 + 5 is an 8, and 8 is the number of abundance, and 8 is all about what you put out, you get back. Now, when I'm seeing this woman here and she's reading her book and she's doing this contemplation, she's also joined by a beautiful crane. And as you can see, there's also a little character here that's sort of coming out of her book. What this is really encouraging you to do is to look at some more creativity, invite in a little bit more creativity, a little bit more fun, a little bit more whimsy into your life. Now, this card is talking about education. And normally if I was talking to anybody else, I would be really focusing on upskilling, going back to school, being clear on what you want your, maybe your business to be, or some of those intentions that you want to bring about. But I think for you, Carmen, this card is really talking a lot about embracing a little bit more of a creative side, and for you to let spark, new ideas. Maybe look at reading some fiction books, actually bringing in a little bit more storytelling, using a little bit more of your imagination. I'm really getting a lot of emphasis for you to start to explore these different avenues that maybe you haven't in a while, to ignite that imagination and to ignite some of those dreams. With the crane as well, which I absolutely love the crane. The crane is all about elegance. It's all about elegance. It's all about wisdom. It's all about grace. So it's like, how can you continue to move, through life gracefully, eloquently? How can you, tap into some of that wisdom that's laying dormant within yourself and come out and emulate that for other people? So hopefully you found that is a helpful card for you. And some fiction books that I recommend: The Time Traveler's Wife, Memoirs of a Geisha, Throne of Glass series, Harry Potter, Outlander, or Cross Stitch series, depending on where you are in the world. Of course, it's got a different time or a different name change. So, Okay, cool. So who's next? Got a couple more people. If you're still on, please do leave me a comment because I want to make sure that I'm reading for somebody that is here. And Carmen, if you can validate any of that, that would be fantastic. Oh, wonderful. So you did say that you need a little bit of lifting up. You know, Carmen, one of the things that they're saying is that, yeah, it's really a lot about having more fun. Sometimes when we're going through life and we're going through a routine, you know, we're like doing the same thing every day. It's like every day is just the same. It's like Groundhog Day. With books, with exploring new worlds like that, you just open up and you have this whole mysterious world that is only for you. It's this beautiful personal world that's happening within you. And no matter what genre of books you like, there is something for you. One of the things about me, don't tell anyone, I'm obsessed with food. I love talking about food. I love looking at food pictures. I don't sit on my phone and look at food, although, well, actually, maybe sort of sometimes I do. But I love learning about recipes. I love the colors of food. I love eating food. And I never knew, but there's a whole genre of books called food fiction. And it's actually fictional stories that are centered around cooking. So for example, I read this entire book and it was about this woman and she has a restaurant, and every Monday she was doing a cooking class. And so the book was centered around what they were cooking, and the history on that, the different ingredients that they were using, the different techniques like sauteing and the chopping and the whole thing. But then it was also focused on the different characters that went to the cooking class and their lives. So it was all these sort of sub stories that were all centered around food. So that's just an example that, you know, if you are interested in any world, that there's going to be books on it. All right. Hello, Carrie's just tuning in, and Jules and Michelle. Okay, and fantastic. And as I said, if you do want a reading and you are still here, please continue to comment. And I'll pull a card now for Michelle. Michelle Weber. All right, let's see what the cards bring up for you, my sister. I probably should stop saying my sister if I'm not sure how you identify. I apologize for that. Okay, Michelle. What do we have here? Drum roll, please. Okay, Michelle, this is the card Dragon's Lair, and this is number 19, and 1 + 9 is 10, and 1 + 0 is a 1. Now, one of the things I want to say is that I feel like you've been sort of overcome with a little bit of worry, a little bit of anxiety. Even as I'm talking here, I'm feeling some pressure in my chest area, and I'm feeling a little bit not myself. All of a sudden, I kind of feel like I'm trying to hold on to things really tight. There's quite a lot of stress is what I'm feeling, okay? So one of the things that I really want to strongly remind you of, and Spirit is wanting to remind you of course, I'm a channel, right? I just say what they tell me, is that your worries are unfounded. I hear that. So, and I know there's a lot of emotion around what you might be feeling as well. So I just want to acknowledge that, but I just want to let you know that, you know, there's like some quote that says 95 or 99% of the things we worry about never come to pass, never come to fruition. So one of the things that you need to be really aware of, I'm getting confirmation about that as well through Goosebumps, okay? Is you need to be very clear of the things that you're telling yourself on a regular basis. And whenever possible, what you need to do is you need to go, you know what? I don't need to believe that thought. Not our thoughts pretend to be important, but we don't actually need to believe them. Okay. 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts is what goes through our mind on average every single day. So if you're filling yourself with a lot of worry and a lot of stress and a lot of fear-based thoughts, you're going to be living in that kind of environment. I really want you to start to pay attention to the information that you're reading, the people that you're talking to, any true crime, anything like that. I want you to stop doing that, because anytime you're doing or you're watching those sort of programs or talking to negative people, or it's really just perpetuating this whole worry thing. And what you need to instead do is look at focusing on the positive, overdosing on the positive, watching those videos that make you laugh, that lift you up, you know, going outside, going for a run, getting back in touch with who you are. And what you're going to find is that the more that you can get into your body, going out for walks, you can do some yoga would be really, really good for you. The more that you can get into your body, the less you're going to get in your head. And the less you're in your head, the less worries that you're going to have. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you. If you want to leave me any feedback on that, that would be just fantastic. I would love to to get some validation or confirmation from you if you felt that that was helpful. All right, Amy, here we go. What you would like a card pulled for you? No problem at all. And again, if you are watching here, I'll stay on for another 5 to 10 minutes or so. Just please continue to leave me a comment if you're watching so that I know you're still around. Because sometimes what I do is I'll do a whole reading for someone and then they've already left and they never get it. Although, that being said, and I've said it, numerous times, is that when I'm doing a reading for one person, there's always messages for you within it. There's always healing for you within it, even if the reading isn't necessarily directed at you. Okay, Amy's like, girl, give me my card. Okay, I got you. Okay, cool. This is great. This is the Talisman card. And as you can see here, we see this woman and she's walking along the path and she's going along her journey and she sort of has her little guides, her little trinkets that she's bringing with her. So this is card number 49 and 4 plus 9 is 50. Oh my God, I just draw 58. No, what am I saying? 4 plus 9 is 13. I was going to say 13 and I just totally lost my train of thought. So 13 and 1 plus 3 is a 4. And 4 is, for me, is all about communication, but it's also a lot about getting a plan in place. Okay. So when you are building a goal, when you're setting your sights on something, it's about how are you going to get there? What's the step right before you achieve that? What's the step right before you achieve that? What's the step right before that? Coming back and spending a little bit of time on making sure that your plan is sound, making sure that you're moving forward in a way that's going to execute or give you the plan that you want. So one of the things that they're telling me is that you need to start paying attention to the little signs and symbols that they're giving you on a regular basis, okay? I like to call them breadcrumbs or golden nuggets. So you might have a couple of talismans that you use which guide you. You might even have like a lucky trinket that you use. You might have a coin that you flip to help you make decisions. You might have a worry stone that you use to help you get out of your head and be more in the present moment. But you also might start to pay attention and be aware of, okay, well, what are the things that spirit is showing me that I know that's from spirit? So like for me, I know bluebirds, sign from spirit. I know hearts, sign from spirit. I know rainbows, sign from spirit. I hear, I'm clairaudient as well as clairvoyant. So I also hear and I'll feel spirit too. And that's when I also get my little, nudges in the right direction, my little encouragements, my little sort of breadcrumbs that are leading me along the right path. So what they're telling you to do is to start to pay attention to what's happening around you now, not as much on the phone, be really here in the present, spend a lot of time paying attention to the things that are happening. They're trying to get your attention, okay? They're trying to get your attention to assist you along, but sometimes you're kind of in la la land, which happens to all of us, where you're thinking about something and you're missing the giant billboard with a huge sign. So I want you to start to pay attention to little signs and symbols that spirit are leaving you. Love to hear your feedback on that. Okay, you're saying that you do have crystals and you see different signs. That's awesome. So one of the things that you could do, and this is for anyone listening, if you're ever wanting a sign from spirit, okay, you just tell them, you just say, hey, I really want to get some confirmation from you. I'm really in my own way. I need it to be obvious. Sometimes I'm distracted. So I really need you to give me an obvious sign. I always say in a graceful way though, because you don't want to be like blindsided. Give me a really obvious sign. And sometimes what I say to my team is like, I need it a few times because sometimes when I get it once, I'm thinking to myself, I don't really know if that's for me. So I need it multiple times. So you could say, hey, can you please show me an owl today if I'm meant to do blah, blah, blah. Or if I'm going to be heading down this journey, can you please give me a couple of, green ticks or play Fleetwood Mac's Go Your Own Way, on the radio or anything like that. Green all the way. Light me up with green. So you can start to ask for that kind of guidance. And, when spirit knows that you're paying attention and you're listening, they are all too happy to assist you because they just want you to live the best life that you possibly can. Okay. Okay. Yes, Amy, love it. Jules, you want a reading and your son is watching too. Okay, lovely. Let's see what we get here. Number one, I want to tap into your son for a second, only because he's there. I feel like he's a really sensitive energy. I do want to place him around like maybe anywhere between 9 or 10, but tall. and I want to put him up to about 12. So if you want to let me know. I also feel like he's a really sensitive energy. He's super creative and he's super intelligent. I want you to see at the end of this episode, if you can go back and listen to the live where I kicked off, because I was giving some techniques and some tips and tricks on how to cleanse your energy. When you're empathic and you're in tune like your son, okay, you need to really make sure that he's managing his energy. So one of the things that you can do, darling, is you can actually imagine that you've got like a superhero cloak on, or like a superhero, some kind of a shield that you put on every day after you get out of the shower or the bath. You just do that in your imagination, okay? You just sort of imagine what it's going to look like. For me, I have 7 layers of shield that I put on. So it just depends on how intense you want to be about it. But you sort of put this on, and what that helps you to do is it helps you to be, navigate through world, and no matter what people throw at you, it's like goes back to them, right? So that's one thing that I would really recommend that you start to do. The other thing too, for yourself and for anybody listening, is after you put your sort of shield on of protection, and again, you just resonate. If this feels good for you, do it. And if it doesn't feel good, just leave it. That's cool. Is you also can wrap yourself in a beautiful rainbow light of source energy. And on the podcast, on the Afterlight podcast, I interviewed an amazing woman named Susan Corso. I actually have an episode coming up with her in a couple of weeks on the witch wound and healing the witch wound. But before that, we did talk about chakras, and we did talk about working with the elements. And in the part 1 episode, we did talk about using rainbow light instead of using white light as a protective energy. So if this is resonating with you at all, I really want to encourage you to go and check it out. Okay, so Jules, card for you, general card. I'm always happy to answer questions, but I do like general card readings because I do think sometimes spirit needs to tell us about other things. And if we're kind of open to the possibility and guidance, we'll be really surprised what we get. Oh, he is 9. Very good. Yeah, thank you. I thought that. Is he tall as well? I was just kind of curious. Okay, so because I think sometimes people think he's older than 9 because he's very wise. That's the other thing about him. He's very mature. I think he's like very resourceful, really resilient, and I'd be very surprised if he wasn't a leader on some level. Okay, so Jules, this is for you. This is the Spirit of Place, and this is number 4, and this is so beautiful. And there's this woman, and she's just sitting calmly in the forest. As we can see, she's an elemental, and there are a whole bunch of different leaves and stuff like that around her. So one of the things that this is really encouraging you to do is to get out and connect with the elementals. So the elementals are your fairies, are your tree spirits. I'm getting full on goosebumps, like crazy confirmation for you. So whenever I'm channeling from spirit and they tell me that, and I get it through goosebumps as well, that's saying, hey, really start to pay attention to this. So this is really about the fairy world that really wants to connect with you, the elemental world that wants to connect with you. Elementals can really assist us as well in growing in abundance, can really help us to manifest and to attract the things that we want to attract in our life. One of the things we do want to be aware of is our relationship with them. So whenever possible, using eco products, cleaning up any litter that you may see. I know my mom often talks about, make sure you clean up 1 piece of litter a day, honoring the area in which you live. Paying attention to, the different trees and like noticing them. Oh, I hear that. One of the things that they're encouraging you to do is start to see the tree spirits. And what you might do is when you're looking into the tree, have a look around and you might see a face emerge, and that's the tree spirit of that tree. I feel like there might be a tree near you that you have a bit of a connection with, just sending it some love. Also, what might interest you too, Jules, is I'm listening. I own a copy of it. It's just over there, but I'm also listening to it. And it's by Juliet Diaz, and it's a book called Plant Witchery, and it's all about connection with spirit and connecting with plants. And so I really think that might be something that you could really benefit from as well, because I think that that's a world that you're maybe interested in, but you haven't completely tapped into just yet. Okay, so that's that beautiful card for you. Really finding that I think you're going to find a lot of guidance and a lot of place for you, a lot of home feelings in nature. So really want to strongly encourage you to do that. And yes, thank you so for that confirmation as well on your son, that he is 9 and he is tall and he's done a children's Reiki course and he is wise and creative. So just absolutely love that. And you have a special tree, your black boy tree. Okay, that's so good. Oh, I'm getting confirmation. So just get out there and just continue to tap into all of that. Okay, fantastic. So again, if you are still watching, I have quite a few people still here watching. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to read for a couple more people and then we'll call it. So if you are here, please do let me know and I'll do a little card for you. All right, let's do a card here for Carrie as well. So I'm going to do a little card for Carrie, and I feel like I'm not using the right deck for you. I just have to get another deck, of course. 1 second, let me grab it. Sometimes when you're doing these things and you're like, okay, shuffling the cards and it's just not the right feeling, that means you need to switch decks. And I remember one time I was doing a mediumship reading, because I'm also a medium and I talk to spirit, passed over loved ones, spirit guides, angels, your higher self. I can do past lives, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I was doing a mediumship reading for someone and I was like, oh man, I'm just not flowing the way that I want to. And the minute I changed decks, it was like boom, 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 boom. It all really came in. All right, so let me see here. Carrie, I feel like you have a really strong, not attachment. You have a really strong connection with animals. It's almost like I want to talk about some power animals that you have on your team. I'm really drawn to talking about wolves and I'm talking about bears as well. So there's a lot of emphasis for you. I'm getting a lot of confirmation here on family systems, on taking care of the family. Because I'm seeing a bear as well. Bear is like the mother bear. It's kind of like the leader, the feminine energy, the creative, the protector. Wolf as well is a lot about loyalty. It's all about taking care of their own. I'm also feeling that there's some stuff going on in your throat. So whether or not there needs to be a communication that's happening, I'm feeling like I really want to cough actually. And I'm also feeling emotion around this. So whether or not there's a family situation that's happening for you that you really want to be able to, talk about, bring to light, or maybe someone in the family is struggling with something that they need, maybe some assistance and support in talking about it. Definitely think there's a communication going on here. And because I'm getting the bear and the wolf, it's really showing me that it's a lot about family. So I really want to encourage you to see whether or not you can tap into that. Feel safe to speak your truth, of course. But I really feel like there's some things that need to be said. Okay, let's see what we've got here in terms of a card for you. Oh, I'm really feeling like I got to change decks again. I'm so sorry. 1 sec. Just because we had all these animals come in, I was like, I got to use this animal deck for you because I think that one is going to actually resonate a little bit more than the other decks just were not right for you. All right, let's see what we get here for you. You have such a beautiful energy. I feel a lot of joy, a lot of lightness, a lot of ease around you. And I do know you, but I can just feel like you feel happy, like you feel lighter, like you feel at ease. So there's definitely a lot that has come, I think, from resetting. I hear that. It's like you're stepping into your power. It's kind of like I imagine you in a forest and you're just sort of standing there and you're standing super, super strong. And you just know that you are exactly where you're meant to be. So there's a lot of confirmation on you getting out in nature, connecting with your heart, connecting with your soul in that way, getting a lot of clarity, a lot of inspiration. One of the things they want to remind you too is that when you do get your inspiration and your new ideas and stuff, make sure you're writing them down. Because sometimes we think, oh, I'll remember that, and we don't always. And sometimes when we don't write it down, the idea goes to somebody else and then they do it before we do. So notice that. All right. And your card, my sister, is... this is the Kingfisher card, which is so beautiful. And it's the card of peace. And isn't that funny? I was talking about lightness and ease and joy. That really is for you. So it's just so much peace here within this card for you. And because it's a bird as well, birds for me always symbolize freedom. They always symbolize the opportunity to rise above and look at things objectively. Okay. And I really feel like all the color and warmth within this bird as well is a lot of wisdom to be found here, and a lot of just kind of understanding the different sides of ourselves Yeah, that's what they're saying. So it's kind of like when we start to become aware of the different parts of ourselves, we start to honor the shadow and the light and our shortcomings and our strengths. And we look at them all together as a really beautiful collaboration of who we are. And instead of beating ourselves up, which is what I sometimes do, and I'm sure like maybe people watching can agree. Sometimes we beat ourselves up when we're not really good at things. I feel like you're past that. You're so past that. You just know who you are, you accept who you are, and you just have such a beautiful power within you. So well done on all the work that you've done to this point as well. Okay, who's next? I'll do 2 more readings and then I will move on. So if you would like a reading, I've got a couple more people left. I'll just give you a minute to just remind me that you're here, and I'll do 2 more readings. And Jules is just talking about her son as well. So she was just saying he's got a lot of crystals and books on ESP. He just isn't tuned in. Well, he's just probably preoccupied with other things that are going on. I just think that on a subconscious level, your son is probably sensitive to energy and doesn't necessarily realize it. So you could just, show him different techniques to kind of help him with that. And yeah, some of us are tuned in and we don't know it. And some of us aren't tuned in because we don't want to be right away, because there's a responsibility that comes when you are tuned in and people just aren't ready for it, which is all right. I mean, he's 9, he should be having fun. Not that working with spirit isn't fun. It is fun, but it also takes time and effort. Okay, Renee, let's do a little reading for you. And then I'll also do one more as well. So, and I'm going to stick with this animal card. I'm really liking that. All right, so pull a card for you, Renee. Again, I'm feeling some throat stuff going on for you. So I feel like there's a communication thing that's happening here. I've actually got a sore throat. So whether or not it's been a lot of communicating, whether or not there's a thyroid thing that's happening, or whether or not there are things that are left unsaid. So it could be a combination of all those. But one of the things that I do want to acknowledge is the throat space. Now, the throat space is also blue. So if you are wanting to communicate about something, then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to bring in some blue color. You can do that through the clothing that you wear. You can eat foods that are blue, like blueberries. I'm trying to think of other foods that are blue. Naturally blue. Some plums, I think, are a little bit of a blue tinge. Grapes can be a bit of a blue tinge. So you can actually start bringing in some of those blue things as well. Oh, that's interesting. Thank you. One of the things that they're showing me that you could actually do, and I've never heard this before, so I hope I remember it for later. You can actually tap on your throat, and you can just sort of shift a bit of that's going on in there. So if you're feeling like, I hear that, like there are words that you need to say that you haven't said, you can actually just tap your throat and you can, try to shift that. I always get people when I'm feeling a lot of pressure in their solar plexus area to clap around their solar plexus area and really move out some of that, those rain clouds. I always like to say it's sort of like rain clouds. When you clap really loud, my dog is sleeping over here, so I don't want to clap super loud, but that really shifts that energy out. And so the tapping of the throat can work as well. Also, if you or anybody watching, if you deal with anxiety, I struggle with anxiety myself. You can actually tap on your collarbone and just imagine that moving out. Okay. And for you, Renee, I feel a little bit of anxiety as well. So it might be anxiety around this communication thing here. So just go ahead and do that. Now, one of the things I also do, which is really helpful for me. Okay, Renee, thank you. So you said that you've been doing some tapping, so that makes sense. Okay, that's awesome. Because I was like, where is this coming from? That's so cool. And also tapping, you can look at EFT for anyone at home who wants to look at tapping. It's really awesome, but I haven't seen the throat one before. Now, one of the things that you could do as well, and this is actually how I set myself up when I'm doing mediumship and psychic work. Today, I'm not doing as much mediumship, although Carrie's Power Animals came through, is I use this essential oil that I made myself. I've got crystals in it, and I just have a ylang ylang lavender oil, and I think I put almond oil in here as well. And I rub it on my third eye, and I'm like safe to see. And I rub it on my throat, and I'm like safe to speak. And I do a couple of other little, ritual things. But if you're wanting to speak about something, you might just do that and just let yourself know, hey, you know what? It's safe for me to speak my truth. Okay. All right. Let's pull a card for you here as well. And if that's resonating with you too, I would love to know. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing. Okay, and this is the card of change, and this is a butterfly, and it's beautiful. And number one, when I see purple, I always just think higher self. I always think of connection with spirit, because this is a change. That would mean that, there's a change that's coming. Maybe this speaking your truth is going to, bring about a change. Maybe 2023 is bringing about a change that you desire. It's about looking for the opportunity within the change. Sometimes what happens to us is we go, oh, change is happening, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be negative. No, let's be positive. Let's look at the light. There's always light within shade, always, always, always. And there's always light within an opportunity. Now, because this is butterfly as well, I feel like this is a lot about you. This is a lot about you transforming, you kind of coming out of your shell and you really stepping into your power and becoming who you are. If you are needing to communicate with somebody, what you could do is actually practice speaking it. Talk to yourself in the mirror, get to know yourself as a friend that way, but also just speak out loud will really help those words to come out clearly when it's time. And I'm getting that. Thank you. Archangel Gabriel is also here. And I feel like there's a lot of purple that's surrounding Archangel Gabriel, and you can actually call on them to come and help you with your communication. Whenever I'm doing things that involve public speaking, I often call in Archangel Gabriel to help me. So some people say Archangel Gabriel as though it's a feminine. Some people say Archangel Gabriel. I say Archangel Gabriel. I don't really assign like a gender, really quite androgynous, but that's sometimes a lot of people will feel there's a feminine energy there. So they will like call her Archangel Gabriel, and some people feel it's more of a masculine energy, Archangel Gabriel. So I just sort of keep it androgynous because that's just how it shows me. Although there is like probably more feminine energy there, I guess, if I was really tapping in and paying attention. Okay. I'm willing to do one more reading for the next person that leaves a comment. Thank you so much. Okay, Carrie, thank you so much for that beautiful comment as well. And you're welcome, Renee. And yeah, Carrie, timing is everything. Timing is absolutely everything. So you just start to pay attention to what's going to work for you. And if it's not the right timing, then it's just not the right timing. All right. And I've got Cherie, and she's just tapped on. Hi, Cherie. And I'll pull a card for you because you're my last comment, and then we'll wrap it up here. Oh, thank you, Jules. Thank you to your son as well. Appreciate that. Okay, Cherie, feel a little bit of anxiety for you around the solar plexus region. So I'd really like to encourage you to do some sound healing. I know you work with crystals all the time. Some of my beautiful crystals have actually come from you. But I'm really feeling that there needs to be a little bit of cleansing around the solar plexus area. So you can do that through sage. You can do that through tapping would be really good for you. That's what they're telling. EFT would be really good for you. I was just talking about it as well with Renee, but I think EFT might be something that you could look at doing. Also grounding, getting out to the ocean, onto the beach. I know that you do that on a regular basis, but that'll really help you, I think, as well. All right. So I'm going to pull a card for you. I feel like this deck is not right. So let me pull a different card for you. And we're going to go with the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck for you, which is this one. So let's see what we get here. Feel a lot of sort of anxiety when I tap into your energy, Cherie, a little bit of nerves. So it's just about keep things light, keep it light, keep things fun, keep things happy, get that good music going on, go for that dance party, get outside, keep things light, keep things light. That's what they're telling me. Keep things light. I don't know how many more times I need to say it. Find the humor. Okay. All right. So let's see the card that we get for you here. And thank you to everyone who's been watching and the people who have been asking questions and commenting and giving feedback. I really appreciate that. It really helps me to develop. Okay. And what we got here for you, Cherie, is we got the thunder moon and we got change. And when I think of thunder, I think of storms. But what I see here is a lot of maybe unease. But I think that it's nothing to worry about, honestly. It's number 35. 3 + 5 is an 8. 8 is what you put out, comes back to you. It's also the number of abundance. It's also infinity, so it's like ongoing, but it's really a lot about circle of life. And what we do sometimes is we go through ebbs and flows, and it's about how do we deal with it? How do we deal with setbacks? How do we deal with challenges? I hear that. One of the things that they're trying to get you to remember is life is working for you. It's not working against you. So when we have challenges that come, it's not about, oh no, this is happening to me. It's like, where can I identify the lesson? Where can I look to see what I can learn from this situation? Am I holding on to things really tight and I need to learn to relax and let go? Or am I, not paying attention to my inner guidance, to my inner emotions? Am I going against the grain? When we have those moments when we're like, I should have done blah, 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 and we didn't do it, I feel like that's because we were just really set on a plan or we weren't listening. So they're just really encouraging you to start to pay attention and to remember that you are in power and that you can make any changes that you want because you're always in the driver's seat. We always have free will. So within this change, it looks a little bit tumultuous, but I just want you to know that you're safe and you're secure within that. Now, because there's the element of red, I really want to encourage you to remember to do some base work, some root chakra, some grounding. Because the minute that you're really in your power and you're really centered in the here and the now moment, that's when you're going to be able to step up and move to the next level. When a lot of things are swirling around, like the picture in here, swirling around in your head, it leads for stress, leads for anxiety. You don't feel like you're in power. So I really want you to, kind of get out of your own way here. Remember, you are in power. You do have free will. And you're making the plan here. You just say to your guys, hey, I don't need any lessons for a while. I just need to take a little bit of a break. Come back to your root chakra. That's going to help you to feel safe and secure. All right. Okay. Well, that's all, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, please do check out the Afterlight podcast. New episodes launch every Thursday, including today. And I just launched a new episode, which is all about creating a new intention for 2023 in the terms of a focus word. It's a super short episode, but as you know, there are so many episodes on there that are just magic. And I really would like to encourage you to check them out. If you want to have a one-on-one reading with me, just head to my website. If you liked what you saw here, please do share it with your friends. Let people know that I'm available for psychic mediumship readings. And I'm also a business mentor. So if you want guidance in that direction, I can help you. All right. Much love. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.